Democrat. He's a guy. I thought he was a good president. I think W was a strong president. I don't think he was strong as far as economically. But I think Jimmy Carter was the second worst president we've ever had. And Obama is the first worst president we've ever had. Well, now and I pushed, and I've been pushing for Ben Carson, and I've been pushing. I donated to his campaign, so you can throw that out the window. All right, if you're trying to say that I'm this and that, because I think he is absolutely probably next to Jimmy Carter, who is white, the worst president probably we ever had, and that is my opinion. I have an opinion like y'all have an opinion. There may be somebody out there that thinks he's the best president we've ever had, and that's fine. That's your opinion. But in my opinion, he's the worst president, and I will not get behind him for anything because he'd get me killed. Just like he got those guys in Benghazi killed because he wouldn't support him and Hill. So that's my own opinion. And I got an opinion like everybody else. Now, what were you going to ask me?
All right, now that you're going to let me finish.
Okay.
They were talking about this morning, they said that don't vote for any Republican candidates because they're all racist and won't.
Yeah, they're all racist. Yeah, I'm racist. I'm sorry. I believe Ben Carson is a minority, and I believe Fiorina is a minority, but we're racist and we hate women. Yeah. Don't even get me started. Nothing but media hype. Yes, ma'am.
This is not about politics.
Okay, well, forget it then. I'm not going to talk about it.
Well,
what?
Kind of random and.
Random.
Yeah. Did you study plays?
Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I was in the Wizard of Oz and you heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Abby Hyatt.
Oh yes, your sister's Carly. Yeah. I didn't even recognize you. I'm sorry. Well, you kind of went. You kind of grew up. Yes. That's been a while. And I believe your sister is teaching at Centerville, right? Yeah, tell her I said hello.
And her husband started there.
I'm sorry, what?
They started there in theater.
Did they? Where?
It's the Market Theater. It's like the art center. It opens tomorrow. Their first play.
Where's the art center? Where are you talking about?
Right near the Roman Market. Downtown.
Oh, yeah, I don't go downtown very much. Okay, yeah, okay. That's great. Well, tell them if they ever need the line, let me know.
Okay.
What are they going to be doing? Are they going to be doing children's or adults or what?
All over.
Good.
Right now they're doing the Fantastic.
That's great.
Really want to, in this season, but later on.
That's great. I love the big plays. I think it's great. All right, I guess we got to do 5-number summary. I don't know if we've done that. I know we got to do Z-scores. We got to do that. So I guess we got to get started on math now.
You're not going to do any more project calculations? I'm getting a little confused on that.
All right, what do you need me to do?
I'm getting confused between the X bar and the variance equation, where you've got the n's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had a different variance. I had for the variance x minus x bar over n minus 1.
No. Standard deviation, okay. You see, y'all getting it, you're doing exactly what a lot of students do. You're getting data-driven confused with the frequency, okay? That's what you're doing. So let me go ahead and show you the difference again. And usually I have to show y'all 2 or 3 times. Huh?
Go slow.
Okay. I didn't know did I go too fast for y'all? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
probably just me.
We're running out of time.
Okay. Okay. So there's 2 types of data. There is data-driven which is like test scores. Okay. 75, 80, 85, 90, 92. and you find the mean. What do you do? How do you find the mean of those?
Add them up and divide by the number.
So the summation of x over n. That's what you just said. You add them all up, divide by 5. And then the standard deviation, or the variance, which the standard deviation is basically the square root of what? Variance. So the variance is what's under the bracket. I don't care about the variance. I care about the standard deviation. So x minus x bar over what? You said it a while ago.
Oh, n minus 1.
N minus 1. Is it n minus 1 or n?
N.
Yeah. Okay. Now there is the difference. Now, what's the other one? The other one is frequency distribution. And that's what y'all are doing with the socioeconomic. And I'll just say salaries. Okay? The salary classes, you have, I don't know what I used before, but, or your ages. Okay? 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30, 34, and I'll stop right there. You can go further if you want to. And then you have F, 2, 4, 6, 2. Okay, now you see the difference between the two. Now, I have to do it with the mouse because when I try to make it smaller up there, I can't do it. It's a conspiracy. Okay? So, and what are the formulas for your mean here? Well, your mean is the summation of f times what? X over n. Well, we don't have an x, so you have to what? Calculate it, Hubert. That's right, class. So, and what is x? What's the word for x? It's the, starts with an M. Midpoint of these guys right here. 15 plus 19 is what? 34. Half of 34 is 17. And so on. And the standard deviation is equal to the square root of n times the summation of x of f times x squared, brackets, minus the summation minus the summation of f times x quantity squared, well, not room, over n times n minus 1. And that's the difference. So will y'all be using this in your data? Not really. Why? Because you got too much information. You get too much information, you put it in this right here. So data-driven is usually with small amounts. But you can have 20, 25, or 30, numbers, which is a pain, and I wouldn't give you that on the test. But your 5-number summary you get from a data-driven. So just remember, data-driven is test scores. Frequency distribution is think of it as your ages and salary in your project.
Do we need all that, which one do we need, all the median and the
That's your choice. Remember, I told y'all the only thing I want is I want what's mandatory is the candidate outcomes. Okay, I don't know why this thing's writing all over the place. Candidate data. Meaning I want to see two graphs, whether it's a pie graph or whether it's and I want to see percentages and I want to see totals. So if you, on your Republican side, if 62 people say that they're going to vote for Trump, I want to see 62, and if you did 100 people, that'd be 62%. You see what I'm saying? So maybe you might want, maybe you like pie charts. So you'll have a Republican and a Democratic pie chart. If you want to do bar chart, if you want to do whatever you want to do, that's fine. That's up to you. But on a pie chart, 62%, you put 62%, and then you'd have down here 62, or have a table over here with the results, and just show a pie chart, or a bar chart, or whatever you want to do. That's mandatory. That's the minimum I want. Now, the second thing I want you to do is your choice. I was talking with Miss Brissy last night at her workplace, and I told her, or yesterday afternoon, I told her you could do socioeconomic. What is the average? Or you could do a breakdown of, the salaries of people that voted in the that took part in your survey for the Republicans and the Democrats. That would be your choice. You could do the average age. You could do, I was talking, might have been Ms. Brissy again, she asked another question that wasn't on my list. She could do that question. She could do the breakdown of spiritual beliefs, or breakdown of, I'm just saying that, she could do the breakdown of gender. She could do the breakdown of American citizen versus non-American citizen, which I don't think you're going to get a very accurate. I wouldn't do that one if I was you. You can ask it, but I wouldn't make it a choice, because why? If you're not an American citizen, are you going to advertise it right now? No. Okay. And a lot of people are confused about American citizens and what it means. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're paying income tax and you can speak English, some kind of English, and you can recite and you believe in the United States Constitution and our laws, then have at it. They're going to give you a card, American citizen. I don't care. But you need to have that card to say that you've done all this. Because that's what? What is that? That's the law. Law means that you need to abide by it. Sorry, I had to stop there. I don't want people to think I'm a racist. And if you knew me, and if anybody knows me, I'll put my record up against anybody. I am not racist at all. What other choice you got? Now, name a choice that you're thinking about doing. Okay, nobody's going to do anything. Y'all just going to sit there.
I think what's interesting is that most of the women are not following the policies of the like.
Yeah. Well, see, one thing you might want to ask is, are you voting your heart? Are you voting for electability? Are you voting for, is this person nice? Or, I don't know how you want to do that, but what are you finding out? I mean, just roughly. Why Carson, there's 2 or 3 reasons why Carson is getting the woman vote. And your one, he's a doctor. What does that have to do with it? Well, what is a doctor? What does a doctor do? Well, no, I don't think that's why, because some nurses don't like what doctors tell them. All right? I know that because I know a nurse. All right. Now, why would a doctor be so approving to females? I'm sorry, what?
We're usually handsome and rich.
Okay, I just might as well just go ahead and tell y'all. All right, there's the man and the woman in the family. What's the man do? Okay, since caveman days, he goes out and hunts. What does the woman do? Takes care. What does the doctor do? Okay, you got that correlation right there. Statistics have shown that Ben Carson does well with women because of that fact. Okay, he's also soft-spoken, and women like that because women can't stand Donald Trump. No, they don't. No, there's a lot of women like Donald Trump. They don't like that. In your face, they don't like that. Although a lot of women polled have said they like Trump because he'll knock people out if they mess with us. And they like that part, but they don't like the boisterous. They don't like that.
I think that's true, and I think a lot of the women that are choosing to say Trump they don't like his womanizer days.
Yeah.
But they like how he runs his household. His business.
Or his business, or in other words, the leadership they like.
Right.
They don't like the boisterous. They probably don't like the name calling. They probably don't like that. You're going to find that, and that's why I thought that yours was going to be so very interesting, because it has the woman side in it, 80% women probably. So you're going to find out some interesting stuff there, and you're going to say, well, why is Trump leading if they don't like this, this, and this?
Well, I mean, I hate to use this word, but I think we need someone about this.
Well, that has been said. If y'all watch the news, someone actually said that. And I think that's one of the reasons, and that's one of the reasons the politicians are not gaining any ground, because we've had, I for one, am sick of it. I'm for one is sick of this. Well, we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to. Bull crap! They're cutting our freaking heads off over there. We don't want to waterboard. We don't want to waterboard them. They've cut our heads off, but we don't want to waterboard them. Our country has turned into a pansy country, and that's where you get that. That's where you get that offset where they like Carson, but they like Trump, but they don't like the boisterous. They like him because he'll pop somebody if somebody messes with us. And that's the leadership, the spined leadership. So, yeah, you're going to see that. So a woman wants a protector, but also wants someone to take care with the mildness and the, so, so you're going to find that out. What else? What else could you do for a choice? I'm liking this because you're opening up and you're actually giving other people ideas. Come on, some of you people that never say anything, say something.
Did you do like narrative forms?
Huh?
Like narrative?
Yes. Because then you would see a lot of people like the single women would go for Carson, a lot for Carson versus Trump. You'll see a lot of that, but you'll see a lot of married people going for Trump or whatever. And the reason did anybody listen? How many of you actually listened to anything having to do with the primary last night? Did anybody? Okay, did y'all find out anything interesting about Trump during the New Hampshire election? Anything they said? He took every demographic. What's demographics? What y'all are doing right now with the survey. He took every demographic. He took gender. He took race. He took socioeconomic. He took under high school graduates. He took college graduates. He took, you name it. He took all the demographics. 85% of the demographics was taken by Trump. What does that tell you? That tells you it just wasn't people that believe in Trump. It's people that are in the whole melting pot. Like, this person over here that works a blue-collar job, this person over here that works a white-collar job, this person is married, has 5 kids, this person is single. He took everybody, 85%, he took all of them. And they could not get over that. The people last night, they were like, I don't think we've ever had this happen before. Duh! No, you haven't. And that's why I think the caucuses were a cluster, because if Iowa had had a secret ballot, I think you would have seen Trump win by a landslide. So, yes, sir.
He also spent less on his campaign than everybody
Wow.
else.
Wouldn't that be great if he was president and could spend less money and do the same result? Golly, does that sound like what? A businessman. Wow. Instead of a politician paying $500 for a hammer.
Jeb Bush spent like
$5 million for each vote.
50 million, yeah. And
50 million and got, take how many votes he got. I think he got 12,000, something like that. Take the 150 million or whatever. No, that's how much he has in his war chest. However, I think he spent 50 million or something in New Hampshire. Take 50 million and divide it by 12,000, and that's how much he spent per vote. He spent $3,000 more, $3,000 plus in Iowa for each vote that he got. Donald Trump spent like $200 for each vote.
he spent like $1 million.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great? He'd get rid of the $500 hammers. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? The hammer that you buy at White Jones or Lowe's that costs $15, that same hammer, when Lowe's or whatever sells it to the U.S. government, it's $500, $300. That's going to stop. Huh? Yeah, and getting his 90-year-old mother with the walker to come down. Has anybody told him that his mother is 90 years old? Okay, that's pretty sad. You know, dragging your mother. Well, my mother's 76, but she does it on her own. She checks fences and stuff, and she's 76. But I'm not going to pull my mother when she's 90. I'm not going to pull my mother out and say, will you come up to tech for me? They're trying to fire me. Would you come up there and tell them not to fire me? I'm sorry. I can understand the brother. But the mother? Really? That's pretty. Would you do it? If your mother was 90 years old? I would. All right. What else? What else have you? We got women. We've got, somebody said marital status.
Education.
Education.
What's important to you, economics or something?
You got all kinds of stuff you can do.
How do you actually do the graph between the men and women? Is it how many men voted for someone and how many voted
Yeah,
for?
you would have to pull it in. Now you could do how many people took part in your survey, but that doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
What you would do is you would put it in a stack. People that voted for this person, or all the males would go in this stack. And then all the females would go in this stack.
Okay.
And then all the males, you'd do Trump, Carson, blah, 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 blah.
All the candidates.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you do a female versus male comparison. 23% of females voted for Trump. 42% of men voted for Trump. And then you put them side by side. And you could put that in a bar graph with blue being male and red being female, and the two bars right beside each other. That's one way you could do it.
So at my work, there's like a split, almost a split amount of women that are like 35 and under, and then the order. I mean, like in my age, like over. And there's a lot of women that are. It's interesting to see what they're voting.
But there's not a lot of variation in age. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was just thinking, I wonder if I looked at it and said, okay, the age group like 20 to 35 is looking at voting for this person compared to.
Then you would do the same thing. You would take everybody in the 20 to 30 and put them in a pile. Everybody from 30 to 35, put them in a pile, and then do it and break it up and put it in a graph. So how many? If you've got 5 or 6 classes, you probably would do that in a pie chart. But that's probably what you do, because you wouldn't want to put 5 classes in a bar chart. That's too confusing. And one thing you always want to remember about your charts, always make them to where a 3rd grader can read them. Some people say a 6th grader, but 3rd to 6th grader, okay? I was told that a long time ago when I was doing reports to the president, when I was department head a long time ago in comprehensive studies. I would give reports to the president, and I was always told by one of his secondhand people, make it for a sixth grader. Not because our president is stupid, but you always make your graphs where a sixth grader, third to sixth grader, could understand it. They may not understand the politics behind it, but the lines and stuff, they need to understand that. Because most people, if you throw something out there that's rocket science, they're not going to pay attention to it. Okay? Who else has got input? All right, well, here's something you can do. 5-number summary. What's a 5-number summary? Well, 5-number summary is what you use to see if your data, it's another tool to see if your data is actually valid. Now, I might have shown you this. I'll get y'all mixed up with the Math 103 class next period. I don't know if I showed y'all this or not. But, and it also gives you a box plot. Now, most of the time, your 5-number summary is data-driven. You don't use it with a frequency distribution. Okay, so let's say that you do ages. Well, you don't have ages because you're not doing it that way. But whatever you're doing as far as data-driven, I'm just going to put some numbers up here. 19, 20, 25, 26, 30, and 32. Now, why I got these numbers up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 33. I don't want to have to calculate the median. Give me all the information you can give me on these numbers. Go ahead and calculate everything. That means mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, standard deviation, and then I'll show you what the 5-number summary does. Okay? Somebody found a calculator this morning. Well, in their house. They were cleaning out a room. So if anybody needs a calculator, needs batteries probably. Yep. If I need it, send me after class. It's the old one. It's a TI-84. TI-85. So let me know if you want to use it. You have to put the batteries in it. Mr. Bird, did you get that piece of paper?
Yes, sir, I did check it.
Okay. Bring it to me after class and I'll sign it and put it in. And I'll tell you who to take it to next because you need to walk it to everybody and get it done quick. Okay? So what did they do? What happened?
Whenever I was,
Somebody dropped the ball, didn't they?
yeah, I was supposed to be an informal, like, region,
Uh-huh.
and my information was sent from West Office here, and it got lost. And so.
God, that never happens.
Yeah, they just told me that I was listed out low, so that's why I didn't know you. I was trying to get it.
Well, good.
It's big.
Well, I hope they sign it. They should, because I think it was Tri-County's fault, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you make sure you tell people that.
And the bill enrollment for area looks like it's
Okay. So let's take this handy dandy data and let's pull up. I did start recording, didn't I?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that one's going. Yeah, they're both going. Okay, so I'll pull up my handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. And the reason I pull up the Excel spreadsheet is not because I want you to do the Excel, it's for organization on the screen, that's why. Because you see I write like crap, so I write all big and funky. Let's see, let's put it up on 22. All right. Can y'all see that? Yeah. All right, so X, 19, 20, 25, 26, 30, 32, and 33. There's our numbers. So, mean, median, mode, range. Range is important. Range is important when you're doing a box plot. So is the mid-range. Variance and standard deviation. All right, so we need to find our mean. That's the first thing we need to find. So the dadgum mean is the sum divided by what? 7? There's that. Median is equal to that number right there. So I'll color that yellow and color this yellow. And that's equal to that number right there. Mode I really don't care about. I don't think there is one, is there? So it does not exist. Range is equal to this number minus this number. Mid-range is equal to parentheses, the highest plus the lowest, divided by 2. And now we do the variance. So we got to do x minus x bar. That's equal to 19 minus this number. Oops, we got to lock it. F4. And copy that down. And then x minus x bar, quantity squared. This number raised to the second power. Okay, who has questions? Any questions so far? I'm trying to go slow, I'm sorry. Now, what do we do with x minus x bar quantity squared? I'm sorry, I heard. Add it together. And that's your numerator of your variance. So equals this number divided by what? N, right? Or n minus 1, I can't remember. Is it n minus 1 or n? I think it's n minus 1, isn't it? Look in your notes. Tell me where I wrote down several days ago. Is it n minus 1 or n? I think it's n minus 1. Okay, so that'd be 6. And then what is the standard deviation? That number raised to the what? be M9 raised to the 0.5 power. Okay, don't like that. Equals M9 raised to the 0.5 power. Okay. Is that not M9? M8, sorry. M8. So our mean is 26 and our standard deviation is 6. So you can do your 5-number summary. We'll go down here and do it. I meant not the 5-number summary, just the 26.43, and then equals this plus this, and equals this plus this, and equals this minus this, and equals this minus this. There's your normal curve. And now we do the 5-number summary. Well, the 5-number summary is made up of 5 numbers. Duh. There's the mean, the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile. Now, they're also called several other things. The first quartile is also called the 25th percentile. What do you think the second quartile is called? The 50th percentile. And the third quartile? 75th percentile. I'm only telling you that in case you see it in the book as something else. What else is the second quartile or the 50th percentile called? The median. And what's the last number? The max. Okay, I'm going to do the max for you and the mean. Well, what is that? That's the lowest number and what? Highest number. So if you get that wrong on the test, don't tell anybody. Because that automatically hangs a sign around your neck that says you're a loser. Median, don't get that one wrong either. Why? Because you already done it. There. So 3 numbers, you don't even have to do anything. You just rewrite them. Then what's these 2 numbers? Well, the median of the median. Right now, here's your median, right? Everybody agree with that? And I'll put that right here in yellow. How many numbers are above 26? 3. So then there is your second quartile. I'm sorry, whatever, 25th percentile, first quartile. So I'll paint that dang old Verde. And that goes here, Verde. And that's equal to that number. And we'll color this color blue. All right, how many numbers? Is Miss Hewell disturbing y'all? I'll call security if you want me to. All right, how many numbers are above 26? 3, so there is your third quartile. All right, y'all got some questions? Because y'all, I don't want anybody to be confused. Miss Hewell, is there any confusion?
Okay. So,
I know you'll be the spokesman for the group.
yeah. 20.3, the 20.87, the 20.6.
Yeah. That's your curve. Remember me telling you to do your curve?
Yeah, but like, I'm really confused on where you got those numbers on.
I have been teaching y'all that since the first day. Y'all don't watch these videos, do you? I might as well just quit doing them. What's the middle number, Miss Ewell?
26.
Yeah, that's the middle number. But what is it?
What you mean?
What
The
you mean?
median is the middle number.
The what?
The median. The mean is.
Okay, so the mean is the middle number. And what did I tell you were the two most important numbers there are? I said on the videos too. Oh yeah, you don't watch those. Okay? What's the other number that's important? What goes with the class? What goes with the mean? So what am I doing on the right side? Adding the standard deviation. What am I doing on the left side? So what is 26 plus 5? 31. What is 31 plus 5? 37. I got the decimals there. You got to add the decimals in. So what is 26 minus 5? 21. And what's 21 minus 5? 15, 16, somewhere in there. So you add them to the right and you subtract them to the left. Okay, you good? You're tough, Miss Ewell. You can take it. All right. So now we got the 5-number summary. Who's got questions on the 5-number summary? Where?
3095. It's the one. It's the x minus x bar squared over n minus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And n minus 1 is 185 minus 1.
There's 6. There's 7 numbers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Now, what does the 5-number summary do? Okay, well this is how you draw your box plot. The first thing you do when you draw a box plot is you draw the number line. So I'm going to take my handy dandy straight line maker and I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And I'm going to put a little dash thing here, and I'm going to put a little dash thing here to show me that that's my big numbers. I meant my numbers. What do you think goes on the left side over here? Your mean. Good. If the mean goes on the left side, then what do you think goes on the right side? I can't get anything past y'all. Now, what goes in the middle? Well, what did I tell you? The mid-range. So the mid-range goes in the middle because the mid-range is a 25-cent word for midpoint, which means the middle of the number line. This is the number line. The number line has nothing to do with your calculations. The number line is based on the min, the max, and the midpoint. Just like a graduated cylinder in chemistry. If you've got a 100 milliliter graduated cylinder in chemistry, that means the bottom is 0 and the top is what? 100. What's in the middle? 50. There is no calculations there. It's just graduated. It's measured. All right? All you're doing is setting up a number line where you can plot things. That's all you're doing. So you use 3 numbers that have no calculations in them whatsoever. That's the min, the max, and the mid-range. And mid-range goes right here. Now you need to interpolate. Hubert, you don't know how to talk. It's not interpolate, it's interpretate. No, you don't know what you're talking about. There is a word that's called interpolation. It's used in engineering, a lot of topography, And interpolate means take the middle of the middle of the middle of the middle. Okay? I took the middle of 19 and 33, and that's 26. So where am I going to take the middle next? Between 19 and 26. And what I'm doing is I'm graduating my number line where I can plot something on it. So 19 plus 26 is what? And half of 45? 22. And that's good enough for government work. You don't need that. Well, it's 22.5, really. Shut up. You're just learning, you're just sketching, okay? 22 is good enough. 26 plus 33 is 50 what? 59. Are you going to take half of 59? You're going to take half of 60. 60. That'll be 30. Now, is that graduated enough? Well, it's up to you. I'm going to go even further. So 22, 19 to 22, well, you can do this in your head. What's the difference between 19 and 22? 3. So 1.5. So you can put 20 right in here. Actually, it's 20.5, but I'm not going to worry about it. And that'd be 23, wouldn't it? No, 22 to 26 is 4. Half of 4 is 2, so that'd be 24. Half of the 28. And 30 to 33, that's 1.5, so I'm going to put a 31.5 or whatever. You might want to put a 20.5 here and a 31.5. Now, do I have enough to plot? Yes. So now I'm going to do my box plot. So I take my handy dandy yellow marker. I'll make it pretty thick because, I'm sorry, green. There's my green marker. Because green is the first quartile. So 20, I'm going to put it, now you can put it above or you can put it on the line, I don't care. Okay, I'm going to put the green line right there. And then my orange line, take my handy dandy pen and do my orange line where? 32? 32 is way over here, you can see it. Right in there somewhere. And then my median is yellow. I'm sorry, yellow. And the yellow is at what? Wow, look at that. What did the yellow mark do? Somebody tell me what the yellow mark did. Okay, you don't have much of a choice. It's only doing one thing. It's over what? The middle. If the mean is right over the middle, then that means our data is pretty tight. Now, what else does this box plot tell us? It tells us that we've got pretty much a normal what? A normal curve because it's balanced on both sides. And the mean is in the what? In the middle. So that's what a box plot tells you. Now, why would you do a box plot versus normal curve? Preference. Trying to impress your friends. I don't know. The directions on the test, ask for it. That's probably the most popular. Okay? That is a 5-number summary. Who's got a question? I saw somebody asking a question a while ago. Anybody got a question? Yes, ma'am.
What did you want us to do? That everybody else to do this for any of the questions on here?
That's just for, this is, I'm covering this for a test question, basically. If you have a test question, find the box plot, find the 5-number summary. I'm more into relative frequency, which means 62 over 100 times 100, 62%. I'm into those pie charts and find the mean and standard deviation of either a set of data or a frequency distribution. That's what I'm looking for you to do on this project. Now, anything other than those two things is extra for you. So if you want to do a 5-number summary, you're not going to have a lot of data driven because you've got a lot of classes. All right. So data driven is not going to be. Now, if you've got something data driven and you want to use it, that's up to you. If you want to do a 5-number summary, I'm trying to think where you would have it because most of your, you would have to ask a question pretty much, what is your age? And then if you didn't have a class to pick, you just had a blank, then you could do a 5-number summary on that. Or you could do mean and standard deviation of that. But what are two things you're doing? Okay, you're doing this for the Republican Party, or you're getting paid for this, okay? What are two things that makes the world go around? Time and what? Money. All right? So, will you keep it simple? Is it more simple to do classes, or is it more simple to take 50 to 100 ages? It's more simple to do ranges. So most of your data is going to be in classes because it's efficient and it's short and sweet. Okay? Now, what is Z-scores? Well, Z-scores, I don't know if I showed you Z-scores yet, but Z-scores compare apples to oranges. So I'm going to go to my handy-dandy Google sheet, and I'm going to pull up LBJ versus Shaq. And I've only got like 15 minutes to go over this, or 10 minutes. So, LBJ versus Shaq, Z-scores. It's easier for me to Google it because if I try to go find it in the book that they had it in, it was like 5 editions ago. LBJ versus Shaq, Z-scores. Let's see if this is it. Yep. All right, I want you to write this down right here. Number 1. You don't have to write every word. Just put LBJ 75 inches with a mean of 71.5 and a standard deviation of 2.1. And then write Shaq is 85 inches with a mean of 80 inches and a standard deviation of 3.3. That's all you got to write down. All right. Now the question is asking you, who is what? It says it in there somewhere. Who is what? Relatively taller, Hubert. Thank you, class. What does that mean? Well, any redneck with 3 teeth in their mouth can tell you that LBJ is taller than, that Shaq is taller than 90% of the population. Okay? Anybody can tell you that. But that's not what it's asking. It's asking who is what? Relatively taller. What does that mean? That means, is Shaq a big fish in a little pond, or is he a little fish in a big pond? And if LBJ is a big fish in a little pond, or if he's a little fish in a big pond. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, whose fault is it? Your parents. All right? So, relatively taller means big fish, little pond. What is the requirements to be president of the United States?
U.S. citizen, age 35.
That's pretty much it. Any height requirements? What about being a basketball player? Any height requirements? No. There is no rule to be in the NBA. You have to be 7 foot tall. Spud Webb was how tall? 5'5". And he could dunk. All right? So, there's no requirement. But why is there taller basketball players than presidents? Because you don't need to be tall to be a president. But it helps you to be tall to be what? A basketball player. And that's why your 6th graders that are 7 foot tall get recruited by the high school coach to play junior high basketball so they can play high school basketball, so eventually they can play college basketball, and most of your basketball players are above 6'5". That's why. All right? Now, so, if there's no requirements at all and no advantages at all for a president to be tall, then that means that pretty much LBJ is a big fish in a what? Little pond. But what is Shaq? He's a little fish in a big pond. Now, it's hard to think of Shaq being little, but he is, because everybody that plays basketball in the NBA is what? Over 6'5". So pretty much he's even though he's still a big fish, he's a little fish in a big pond because there's so many people that are tall. That's what relatively taller means. All right? It's all relative. Anybody ever seen Deep Blue? Yep. It's like Jaws, okay? And if you've never seen Jaws, then you've just been deprived, okay? Anyway, there's a scene in the movie where is it Ice-T? No, it's either Ice-T or Ice Cube. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a rapper gone.
Ice Cube.
I think it's Ice. It's one of. It's the bald-headed one. Ice-T is on like L.A. Law and Order, ain't he? Is that who it is? Okay, I can't remember. But anyway, he's a preacher on there, and he said it's all relative. You put your hand on a hot stove, and it seems like a minute. You put your hand on a hot woman, and it's like a second. And the guy beside him, okay, somebody's offended. I don't care. All right, the guy beside him, who is a geek from MIT, says, "I've been through every physics class there is at MIT, and I've never had anybody explain relativity to me better than that. It's all what? Relative. In other words, Shaq is a little fish in a big pond, and LBJ is a big fish in a little pond. Now, how do you discern that? Well, X minus X bar over standard deviation. And I got 3 minutes for those that's having heart attacks. X bar over standard deviation. Now I want you to calculate those two, and you see them right here, but you can find the information. Okay? Do that while I pull up the handy dandy attendance tracker, so you won't have cardio infarction in a couple of minutes. Computer's running. I was praying for snow this morning. And I don't usually pray for snow. But it would have been nice to have 6 inches on the ground and not have to come into work today. I guess I'm getting old.
They say next week.
Yeah. All right. I didn't see Mr. Applewhite. I don't see him this morning. All right. Bailey. Bannister's here. Bearden. Oh, he left early. Brawner. Brissy here. Brown. Kathy's not here. Cromer.
Here.
Croxton.
Here.
DeMondon.
Here.
Elrod. Here. Fielding. Here. Gafford. Here. Hall. Here. Hewell.
Here.
Hyatt. Here. Jordan. Here. Madden. Medlin. Here. Mentis. Here. Mitchell. Here. Norris. Here. Orr. Piazzi's here. Peralta. Here. Smith. Here. Wallace. Here. Webb. Here. And Wary. All right, we'll finish ZScores whenever y'all come back. Anybody got questions? Come up here and ask them because y'all too busy running out.
Hey, so
Yes, sir.
I saw the 13 hour.